All right, number 9. This one, we want to factor both sides before. Okay, so I'm just going to write the denominators down. And then I'm going to factor each of these separately before moving on to the second part. Well, actually, I'm sorry. They're the same. So I just need to factor 1 just to see what's on the bottom. So factors of 15 that add to give me 8, 3, and 5. So x, 3, and 5. Bigger number, negative. They're both the same. Okay, so the denominator factored out is x minus 3 and x plus 5. We need to do that so we can get the critical values. And so x equal 3 and 5 from the denominator when we set those equal to 0. And I'm going to add these two together. So I'm going to set this equal to 0. So I want to let's add this one so we can deal with positive. So I'm going to add the 1 to this side since both denominators are the same. And that will give me a 0 on the left is greater than or equal to, and the numerator will be x plus 1 now when we add that 1. And then on the bottom we will have x minus 3 and x minus 5. This is the factored form of that quadratic. So we already got our critical values from these two guys. Now we just need one from here. So setting this equal to 0 will give us -1. So 5 and 3 cannot be included, but 1 can because of the equal. So we'll draw a number line, -1, +3, and +5. And we will just pick numbers in between. So left of -1, -2. Between -1 and 3, 0. 4 between 3 and 5, and then 6. So several numbers. I will let the calculator handle the heavy lifting. So again, we didn't multiply to move. All we had to do was add. So I can just set it up this way. And I want to see a 0 greater than whatever we plug in, what we get when we plug in. And so I'll just be comparing positive and negative, basically. Clear. So since on the left is 0, I'm going to put 0 first. And then down to y2, I'm going to put the numerator in parentheses. So x plus 1, close it, divided by, and then I'm just going to type it in the factor form. So I'm going to open parentheses and do x minus 3, and then I guess I need to do a double parenthesis to make sure this calculator understands both of these are on the bottom. Multiply those first. So I'm going to do second and insert another one. So I have to do a double open and then x minus 5 and then double close. Okay, this way it ensures that it's going to do the denominator first, multiply those, because otherwise order of operations will divide the first two terms and then multiply by that afterwards, and that's not what we want. Okay, we have it in second graph. We're going to check -2, and I'm seeing left greater than right. So is 0 greater than this negative number? Yes, it is. So this part works. So we get -infinity to 1. And 1 can be included, -1 that is, so bracket. So now we're going to look at 0, and is 0 greater than 0.65, some positive number? No, it is not. so this part will not be included. Now we want to test 4. So here's 4. 0 is greater than -5. Yes, it is. So we get from 3 to 5. And remember, these are numbers that make the denominator 0, so we cannot include them in spite of our equal to in our inequality. And then 6 shouldn't work, but let's look at it. Is 0 greater than this positive number? No, it is not. Okay. So here's our solution: -infinity to 1 including -1, and then 3 to 5. So we need half open interval, bracket on the right side, and we're going to do -infinity, -infinity to -1, close it too soon, union, and then 3 to 5.